Hi, this is Thunder E from Booredatwork.com, and welcome to our camera review as well as tips and tricks of the Nokia Lumia 1020. So you've got your 1020 now. It's got a 41 megapixel camera, and how do you take the best set of pictures with this camera? And I'll show you a couple of things, and I'll show you a couple of things I've done with it that do a good job. Now, Nokia supplied two different apps here that allow you to take the most of your camera. Now, when you get this first, once you hit the camera button, that takes you straight to the Nokia ProCam app. You can change that to either the basic camera or still use the ProCam app, but I suggest you do use the ProCam application. And then let's head home here. The other application you have here is the Nokia Smart Cam application. Now this allows you to do other features like best photo, blur motion, all this kind of photo shots, but we'll get to that. So those are the two we're going to look at and show you why we really like this. So we're going to the ProCam application, which again starts up by firing your camera button. Now you can see the layout here. Your layout is very simple. What you have is you have a menu on the top for your auto, white balance, your focus, ISO, saturation, and lighting differential. You have a preview window, which is some of the photos we took in our review. But in here, so you see a photo here, you can either go back to camera, reframe it. So even if you zoomed in, you can zoom out, and we'll show you that in a second. We can delete, share the picture, or info. Now the info here says that we captured at 5 megapixels and 34, 2.5x zoom, exposure compensation, your shutter speed. So it gives you all that you need to know, and it's something that's a learning process. You can actually look, if you want to really mess around with the camera itself and see what do you need to do to take those perfect pictures and get where you want to with your photos. Now, what I mentioned by refocus and zoom, now this photo here basically is a photo of the air conditioner, and it's zoomed in. Actually, you can see it's at 2x zoom. If I really want to reframe it or zoom out, usually you can't do that post-process in the photo. I hit that button and I can actually zoom out, and you can see the camera didn't just take the air conditioner, it took the docking station, it took more of the couch, it took my lighting stand also on the left hand side, so you get a full focus view of what you see here on screen. So that's pretty cool. Now if we head back here and let's go back to our camera app again, so you do have of course your lenses, which you can jump from lens to lens. So you can jump to the Smart Cam app if you want to quite easily, or just a regular camera application. Now the really cool thing here about this is what you can do with the functionality on screen. So if you pull forward your camera button to snap, you have the full array of all the different settings we had mentioned. What's pretty cool is you get a live preview of all the different settings. And to give you a good idea, let me just raise the camera up and let's look and focus at the screen. So you can see there's a house outside and we want to take a photo. If we think that our lighting is too dark, we can mess with that and make it lighter. You can see it gets lighter, and I can snap a photo like that way if I want to. So let me just bring it down a little bit so I can still see the house. Snap. You can see that there, pretty nice and bright. So if I don't like that, I can, I say, you know what, it's too bright. I'm just going to move this all the way down, make it darker, snap, and there it's dark. And I'll show you those two photos in a second. So actually view those two photos. Let's just go here to the photo app, camera roll. And this is the second photo I took, super dark. And that's the first photo, again, super bright. So right there, I was able to change the change the lighting background. You can see how bright that is and see how it reflects off, and it's just great how much this actually captures, and I can still zoom in, I can look at what's there, I can zoom into the house, and I can see what I'm taking, and it just captures very, very bright and very, very vivid overall. So you can go into the ProCam app and even go in more. If I want to reframe this, say I had zoomed in more, I could reframe it, keep it that way, save it in that fashion if I want to, or I could just definitely go back to my camera application here. So I do have that, and it does a very, very good job at that. You can mess with other things too. So you go in there and mess with the white balance. See, you can see how I'm changing the texture. You can see up here now the tone is completely different. It looks incandescent if I want to, or I can just bring it back down to auto. I can change my ISO, save my shutter speed. I apologize, my ISO. So you can do that, and you can bring everything back to auto and set it that way. So it's pretty cool, and it's a great feature to have. The other thing to note is also your shutter delay. You can set up a shutter delay, and what that does, you see that brings up a yellow ring, and I can say tap on the screen, and it cycles through and then snaps. So it gives me timing for, you know, how fast I want my photos to shoot. And then also I can turn off the shutter delay. Actually, I don't want that. Cancel delay. And then we go into settings, and the main settings here show you some of the other settings in the camera. You can turn on grids. You can change your aspect ratio. You can either shoot at 38 and 5 or just 5. Now 5 megapixels, so you can actually share the photos, but it's condensed pixels together. So basically you have 7:1 pixel ratio in 1 pixel. And you can reset location and find Nokia Pro camera photos. Now if you go into video settings, you see some more things. Yeah, this is what I was very interested in. You can see frames per second. You can go up to 30 frames or 24 frames per second. I recorded the sample video, which you can definitely check out at 24 frames per second. And it does that for both 1080p and 720p altogether. You also have auto bass filter. Nokia has talked about how the sound really captures a lot, and you can use that default or the strong one. And you just take a sample listen to our video because we're outdoors. It was drizzling a little bit and it got heavy downpour, and you can do a lot of things there. Now, the other application is the Nokia Smart Cam app. Now, this allows you to do take best shots. You can take fluid shots and things like that. And what we're actually going to do is actually just take a photo now. This won't work because there's nothing actually moving. It's basically for motion shots in general. So I can actually tap and snap, and it will cycle through and take 10 photos. And those are the 10 photos right there. And I can sample through, and I go in here, and it says best shot, action shot, motion focus, change your face, remove objects, all that together. Now, you can do that. The only problem is, and I'm just going to bring this down so we have little glare on the screen for you guys there. And let me just refocus this. The only problem you find with that is that, again, like I said, you need a photo in motion. So I'm just going to go back to the gallery here, and a couple of photos I took like that earlier. Let me just make sure I find out which one it is. It would tell you if it's a Pro Cam application, a Smart Cam. There we go. So that's Nokia Smart Cam app. So now it tells me that's the best shot I can take from that if I go into best shot, and it will actually select the best shot for me. Swipe to look at all your shots. Sorry. It shows me all the shots I took. You can see the various different cars, and it told me that was the best shot, but I can switch and pick any shot I want to and save that as my best shot. I can move in here and look at action shot. You can see that one car. You can see how it trails through, and I can take some out. I can add some in. I can add more if I wanted to. So I can make this, you know, something different altogether. So I can do that with the action shot, and I can save it. And you can see the motion focus shot here. If I jump into that, you can see how it puts the car in focus, and then everything else is blurred. I can make it slow, I can make it high, and I can save that. Change faces, of course. This is, of course, if you captured a human, so that doesn't really work well there. And remove moving object. So I can do that here. Jump in, select a moving object to remove. Tap on screen to remove objects. So I can add, remove the objects. So you can see what I captured there. So you get a good idea what this application does. and does hold with the Lumia 1020. Gives you a solid camera feel. You take some very solid photos, and overall you get a very good idea of what this camera can do. Overall, it's a very powerful camera. What would say I don't like is the fact that they're two separate applications. I wish that what Nokia allowed you to do was combine both apps together into one application. So the ProCam app had features of the Smart Cam app in there. So you had all these features where you could literally just, you know, toggle between from camera to video, and then from video to ProCam mode, and that just will allow you to take the 10 shots you want to. And it's great, especially if I were hanging out with friends, I could do that more quickly than going into lenses, which takes a little bit of time. So, and that might be an issue just with Windows 8 itself, but I think, you know, the application, the camera has done a very good job. I'm going to put all the photos with this video in the review, so you can check that out and check out the camera app review itself. I really like this camera. I think this is the best camera you will find on any smartphone on the market. You've got that shutter that you know, it's still open, because you see once I close that off, the shutter actually opens up. So if I turn the camera on, the shutter opens up. You can see the lens open in there, and then I close it up. Done. So I really like the camera. I really like the 41 megapixels. I think Nokia's done a great job. And if you guys have any questions or any comments on how to use the camera and how to get the best features, let me know. Again, it's very easy to play with, but the auto settings really do work well and give you just the easiest of functionality to actually jump in and say, hey, this is what I wanted to do with the camera. I want to take a photo. I want to do this. The zoom is just fantastic, and it does a very good job. So if you guys have any questions, any comments, let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to all our pages on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. It's all Booredatwork with 2 O's. So this is Thunder E saying thank you, and always enjoy entertainment. And also, guys, check out the full review for the Lumia 1020 and look at our sample video from the 1020. It's recorded at 24 frames per second. Ciao.